Hey, I'm James the Ragamuffins, and I'm here to talk about Bury Tomorrow's brand new album, The Seventh Son. So, Bury Tomorrow are back. They've just released their seventh album, The Seventh Son. It released on Friday 31st of March. This is a few days afterwards it's coming out. I've had a bit of time to kind of listen to it, delve into it. As a Bury Tomorrow fan, I was very intrigued going into this. They've had a bit of a change in lineup, a bit of a slight change in sound, which I'll delve into a little bit more in this review. But overall, I think this is a fantastic album. It's a great stance in where British metalcore is right now, how it's thriving, how this metal scene is becoming something very, very strong and something we should be very proud of as British metal fans. They've put on some very special shows as part of like album release for it, so some other fans have had a great chance to listen beforehand and I think really delve into how good of an album this is. And it starts right from the top. The title track, it's just a great introduction. It's heavy, you've got some absolutely fucking slamming riffs. I think a structure in terms of the songs, they've really delved into it properly and thought about how they're curating it. Metalcore can be something that can be quite stale sometimes, and it can get into the same repetitive stance in the same thing, rinse, repeat, and it gets too much of the same. Screamed verses, sung choruses, screamed verses, breakdown, that kind of formula. With Bury Tomorrow's album here, they've tried to mix it up a little bit. They've done some new things, and it's made me happy as a fan of them because you can see a new direction with these new members they've had in, and they're really trying to move forward, create and forge that next chapter in their musical scene, and it's quite a cool thing to see. So like I said, the first track, The Seventh Son, it's amazing from the start. There's a point when it drips into like a half-time kind of groove, and immediately it just kind of promotes you to have a metal grimace on. You feel like you want to be involved, you feel like you want to be headbanging, and right from that get-go it sets the scene for I think the entire album of some fantastic riffs, some pounding drum work, amazing production. But the real standout that really sets the scene from this first track is Danny's vocals in particular. I think this is the best he's sounded on record. His screams have so much more clarity to them. A big thing that you always get from outsiders thinking, oh, are they actually saying anything? I think with this in particular, you really hear the pronunciation of the words, and you're hearing the meaning and everything coming through with what he's saying within the lyrics. And I think that always makes metal music something much more impressionable with people. People can relate to that more with that initial impact of knowing what's being said. Maybe some people have difficulties with that, but you can get a much quicker attachment and a much quicker realization, especially with a band like this, with how they've progressed throughout their time in their career as someone who they're making a mark now and trying to make their stance as being big players in the British metalcore scene. You get some differences on this record, like Majesty, for example. You get a really good showing of Tom's vocals. Being new to the band, initially there was a lot of criticism in him taking over Jason, whether he'd fit the bill correctly, because Bury Tomorrow did have a very distinctive sound. I think with Majesty, it gives him a chance to open up, and as well as showing what the future of Bury Tomorrow could look like, it shows them now in this moment of knowing what they've got within the band, playing to all their strengths and creating some fantastic and phenomenal music. And there's other songs like Wrath, I think, where you get this in particular with Tom's vocals, but Majesty, it allows him to shine and show off his abilities. And what I've seen, to be honest, it's been nice to see that Bury Tomorrow fans have really taken to him and seen how he's helping evolve the band with his layer and his dynamic between the cleans with him and Danny's screams. They bounce off each other and they complement each other so well that it shows an evolution in their music and kind of a nice path on where they're going from here, and the ceilings they could go up to. You have the British hierarchy almost of metalcore, where you have Bring Me the Horizon right at the top. You kind of architects beneath them. You've got While She Sleeps up there as well, bands like that. And I think Bury Tomorrow are now kind of staking their claim, putting their flag in the ground of being like, yeah, we want to kind of see if we can reach those heights. We want to push for that. We want to really expand what we can do and make a name for ourselves. And I think with this record in particular, they're going to be able to do that. Forced Divide is another one for me. It shows and highlights, I think, how much Danny's vocals have improved. The screams that he has, in particular the highs, are so incredible. But then support with his instrumentals, there's some phenomenal blast beats. It's packed with so much energy, it's going to get you jumping up and down. This is a song you're going to want to see live, And me knowing that I'm going to see them supporting Sleeps at Ali Pali in September, they're going to put on a fucking show. And hearing songs like this, I think is going to be a very good conversion point for some people who have always been a bit on the fence of Bury Tomorrow and not sure whether to jump on the train for it or not. Me being someone who became a big fan during the pandemic, listening to Cannibal in particular, and then kind of going back through their discography, this to me is something that's fantastic, listening to The Seventh Son. And I know people already that have heard some of these singles, like Abandon Us, like Heretic, with Loz featuring on From Sleeps, for example, that they're starting to really get a grasp for that Bury Tomorrow sound. And I think this is where they're really going to become their own, make their own stamp in the ground, and I think finally get noticed and get the recognition that they've deserved. They've been in this British metalcore scene for so long now, and it seems like people are starting to realise how good they are, the potential they've still got, and where they could go from here. I think for me in particular, I think their live sound is fantastic. Really, for the first time seeing them at Slam Dunk Festival, I think in 2019, just before Sleeps played as well. That live feeling of seeing a metalcore band really kind of go for it, put on a good production, was something that turned me on to their music right from there. Then seeing them last year at Download, being a fan and hearing stuff like the classics, Black Flame, Cannibal, Choke, those kind of songs, going to that crowd surfing and having fun, it's just helped me kind of grow in my love for this band. And this album had a lot of potential for me. Hearing songs like Abandon Us come out and Heretic come out, it really kind of helped. Belt Cutter, again, another example. Some pounding riffs, some pounding drums. There's such a force behind their metalcore sounds. It's very distinct, and you can tell it's them, especially with Danny's kind of vocal tone. If you haven't listened to Bury Tomorrow that much, The Seventh Son is going to be a fantastic way, a fantastic entry point into them as a band, and really help you understand why they've become so notable, why they've got such a loyal fan base, and why they are possibly still going to be the future of British metalcore music. This album has got some fantastic features. Like I've said, Loz on Heretic is phenomenal. When they announced that with Bury Tomorrow supporting While She Sleeps at Ali Pali, for me, that was a fantastic feeling, knowing that I'm going to that gig already. I had the Sleeps tickets, but seeing one of my other favourite bands in Bury Tomorrow support, it's going to be phenomenal. And knowing in my head that I might now see Loz come on stage and do Heretic with them, I think it's going to be something incredible. They're just a fantastic band, and I'm very happy to see Sleeps collaborate with this other huge band in metalcore. The other great feature in this is from Cody Frost in the last track, The Carcass King. Her vocals really provide a nice dynamic and something different, and a really good way to close the album in comparison to having Tom and Danny's vocals throughout. I find that it really kind of complements each other. It feels like a weird, like, holy trinity coming together. It really feels like putting a fantastic full stop at the end of this album, something that I think is going to mark a very big turning point and great projection forward here for Bury Tomorrow. Overall, 7 albums in, Bury Tomorrow are back. Danny's vocals sound fantastic. The songwriting is incredible. They've honed their craft. They know who they are. They've got a fantastic sound. The album is packed with some incredible songs. I'll fleetingly touch on the singles like we've spoken about in the podcast before. Abandon Us is fantastic. Still one of my favourites on the record. Bolt Cutter is just absolutely slamming. It's just unrelenting. It's amazing. We didn't speak about it, but Begin Again was a very recent single that came out before the album's release. Another beautiful song that quite clearly shows the complementing between both vocal styles from Tom and Danny. And I think I don't have enough other positive things to say about this. This is a great record from Bury Tomorrow, and I can't wait to keep listening to it and hopefully see them tour the UK soon. So that was my kind of quick review of The Seventh Son by Bury Tomorrow. If you've listened to it, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe, all that kind of usual shit that you do with the YouTube channel. If you're new to us, we have all kinds of content. We've got monthly podcasts. We do all kinds of stuff with heavy and alternative music. It has news on there. Monthly reviews of new singles and albums. We have discussions about major topics in metal, alternative, pop punk music. We've got gig vlogs. We go and see all kinds of bands. We've seen Beartooth recently, I Prevail. We've got Takedown Festival coming up, Slam Dunk. We're almost on the verge of Download, 2000 Trees. There's all kinds of good stuff coming around the corner. We've got tier lists. We've got reactions. Alex and Dan are trying to introduce me to bands like 100 Gex. Spoiler alert, I didn't enjoy it. But subscribe. You'll get to see all these videos. You'll enjoy it. And we'll have a laugh along the way. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.